Thank you.
Team was on FloridaPanthers.com. I got a question for Stevie first, but I got to go to Monty first. Just what can you say about that shirt? First time we've seen that.
My shirt?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just paying my respects to a good friend of mine. Obviously, I think the media, everyone's giving him a little bit of heat this year, and all fun with it. But just a little funny thing that we do in the locker room, and paying my respects to a good player and a good guy. So.
And then for Stevie, obviously you really fought to get to where you are. Huge game tonight. You get the game winner. Just when you were in the ECHL those years ago, was this kind of the moment you were dreaming of eventually having at some point?
Absolutely. I was fortunate enough that I got to play in Florida, in Southwest Florida, on the other coast. But actually, I guess this side. But yeah, that was always a dream. I never doubted myself for a second. I always knew that I was kind of a late bloomer, and it would take the longer, harder road than most guys. And like I said, I just believed in myself, and I just put the work in each day. And here we are. It's nice to see it pay off, but at the same time, I'm not satisfied. Job's not finished, and it's not going to be done till hopefully middle of June.
Brandon, this one's for you. You spent a lot of time with Kyle Oposo there in Buffalo, and it's been a long time coming for him to get back in a Stanley Cup playoff game. I mean, what did it mean for him to not only get back into a game tonight, but get a point there? It seemed like he was really excited. Yeah. Obviously, ever since the deadline when we got him, obviously excitement, just my experience with him. In Buffalo, just, the leadership he brings, obviously the experience he's had, obviously a tough kind of go in Buffalo with no experience in the playoffs. But, I mean, regardless if he's in the lineup or not, it's a no-brainer that he's going to have a great game. But as good as he is off the ice, he brings that, especially with a new team. Feels like he's been on our team this whole kind of ride here. And like I said, ever since we picked him up, it's a no-brainer that, the guys were excited and obviously welcomed him right away. And he's doing a great job at that.
Monty, a two-part question here. First, Tampa takes the 2-1 lead. Looks like they're dominating the first half of the second period. What changed for you guys to get the momentum back? And then secondly, just how critical the fourth line was for you guys to be able to do what you guys did, getting the third and fourth goals?
Yeah. Again, I mean, over the playoffs, you're going to get highs and lows. Teams are going to give it to you, give you a good push. And obviously, being at home for them, they're going to have pushes throughout the game. And we stay even keel. We're down in the game. We kept pushing. Regardless of, not having any power plays or it looks that way. As you can see, fourth line came up big. Each line, produced in many ways defensively and offensively. And we got the lead and we just held on and kept pushing for that next one. I thought the guys did a good job tonight.
This first one's for Brandon, and then we're coming back. How good has your fourth line been? I mean, not just tonight. Tonight was exceptional, but this whole series, especially that sequence that led to your goal.
Yeah, again, you could say Stevie, in and out of the lineup. But there's a good, solid group of 5-6 guys that, no matter who's in the lineup, they're going to bring it. They're going to bring that energy. And, again, obviously the ice time's obviously a little lower than others, but that's what it's all about. We need effort, good effort from everybody, and no matter what they're playing, they're going to bring it every shift and keep that a positive attitude like they do. And it's nice to see all three of them contribute, and now we just keep growing and building off that.
And just how much? I've talked to Ryan about it last week, 2 weeks ago, just the pride that you guys all put into this thing, the 5-6 of you, like you said.
Yeah, absolutely. Depth, it's no secret, wins championships, and you need guys to contribute. There's going to be mismatches, and you got to be able to weather the storm at times. Like you saw tonight, they had some presses that we were hemmed in our own end, and it doesn't matter whether the fourth or the first line's on the ice. They're going to bring it, and we got to be able to weather that storm. And we were fortunate enough tonight that we were able to contribute on the score sheet, which is a positive. But we might not do that every single night. But again, the limited minutes we get, we got to bring the energy and just do our best to keep the group alive. Like Monty said, on the road, this building's going to light up and get loud, and they're going to get some momentum from that. But it's times like that when our line's got to go out there and just have a good energy shift and finish some checks and do some little things. So we were fortunate tonight, like I said, to get on the score sheet, but it doesn't matter if guys who are out of the lineup tonight, they might be in next game and they might be the ones who contribute. You know, this fourth line that we have with the 5 or 6 guys who have rotated through, we're happy for each other's success. You know, the guys who are out of the lineup, they want to get back in just as bad, but they're just as happy to see us guys do well too. So that's the way it's been throughout the year, and that's what makes this group so special.
For Stevie, you sat a little bit during the middle of the season, and then Paul kind of reopened the competition for the fourth line. Before that, like he specifically said that you played yourself kind of back into that role. But before that, did you expect that you'd have such a big game and such a big playoff series and goal and assists?
I mean, I haven't really been able to expect anything throughout the course of my career, so it's just hard work, and that's what I pride myself in doing. And, you know, there were some darker days throughout the start of the season that I just wasn't fitting in, and I was frustrated with myself, and I didn't really know what was going on, but I didn't want to show that and be a bad teammate. So eventually, I don't know what clicked, but I just started playing a little bit harder and just doing what the coaches were asking, simplifying, not trying to, you know, score 3 goals to make a big bang and big splash, get back in the lineup. But I appreciate that the coaches put their faith back in me and shown me opportunities to be able to go out there and earn that spot back, and I've just kind of taken the ball and ran with it. So, yeah, it's worked out, and again, we're fortunate that we had a good game tonight, but we're not satisfied.
Last question.
Guys, Tampa has been able to score power play goals the first 2 games, but tonight they were 0 for 4. What can you say about your PK, and what kind of adjustments did you make to keep them off the score sheet on their power play?
Yeah, again, our PK has been building all year. Obviously, adjustments. You want to stay out of the box as much as you can against this, you know, especially against this personnel. And, you know, obviously they've been together for, you know, a number of years, and, you know, they play well with each other, play off each other, obviously have great, dangerous looks all over the ice. But, you know, for us, we have all the confidence, you know, in our penalty kill. Like I said, they've built, you know, a strong penalty kill since day one, and take pride in that. You know, each, you know, penalty there is, you know, they get that excitement to get out there and block shots, you know, make that big play, and obviously desperation against a top power play like Tampa is, and you know, guys are doing a great job.
They say the hardest game in sports is the clinching game. How do you handle the next 48 hours getting to that point, and what's your approach coming in on Saturday?
Yeah, again, you treat it like game one. It's one of those things, obviously, like you said, it's going to be a tough one to, you know, season's on the line. Everyone gets that. They're going to bring their best effort, but again, we got our full focus is on, you know, getting rest tonight, getting some food in us, get some fluids, recover tomorrow, and like I said, bring it the next day, and treat it like just another game, and play our style, play our way, and you know, the outcomes will come.
Well, just a little bit about tonight, getting huge win for your team tonight.
Yeah, I liked our start for sure. I thought the big story will be penalty killing. This is such a dominant, highly skilled power play that will be maybe the most important thing that we did well tonight. And then I would say on the road, you can expect the home team to have dominance in at least 10 minutes of a game. They're going to get hot, right? They'll get going, and they did. They scored the goal very early in the second period, and that's what got it cooking and for them. And for 10 minutes, you know, you're behind the play a little bit to tie the game. But then take the lead. Sam Reinhart, right? Just to step up to the play to get us back into that feeling of good road hockey. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to be ahead of it. You don't have to be analytically ahead of it. You don't have to outshoot a team. You don't have to do any of those things. You just have to stay in the game long enough to make the difference. And then the other story then would be the fourth line, and then Steve Lorentz, and then and Kyle Okposo too, because Montour's goal is all based on the screen. And then Steve, you know, it's a guy. I hope people fully appreciate kind of what he went through here this year, because by the time he got into that January-February run, he was out, and we just stayed healthy, and he took such a long block of time off. He never came into the office and complained, not once. He just he worked hard every day. He supported his teammates. So it's kind of one of those quiet little, I would say, right stories in the NHL. You work your ass off. You don't complain. You do all the right things. Something good would happen. So first playoff goal, good for him. And but we're happy for him. Like he did it right.
Coach, you said time and time again that the biggest improvement from last year to this year was the penalty kill. Just what does it do for just maybe the mindset of a team when you have this much confidence in your kill, especially in big games like this?
Yeah, your penalty kill won't be fantastic every night, but based on our year, you have confidence that you can always get it back. That if you get a couple of bad breaks around the net, the kill has been so good, and I thought our line holds were outstanding. And that's probably, I would say, first is goaltending for me. I have no idea what they're doing. Then power play, then penalty kill. I stay a hell out of those meetings, so the really smart guys can do a good job. But Sylvain Lefebvre's done a good job with the PK this year. But the driver of this is always players, and it's always player performance. We added good penalty killers this year in the off season, and they've been great for us.
Coach, you mentioned that you were expecting a 10-minute push from them, or at least 10-minute push from them. They get the 2-1 lead, and your guys they stay steady, they stay loose. How do they do that in the big situations? Overtime last game, being able to get up after the first episode of the series. What is it about the team that's they're loose in situations where you maybe don't see teams stay loose?
Right. Well, it has to be a learned skill. I didn't feel, and you guys can answer this probably, all of you that follow our team, like we never dominated a lot of games this year. That's not really who we are. We had a crazy one in here, right? 9 goals went in and they were all insane, unusual things. So we're in the grinder. Most of our games are tight and hard played and battled. So that 10-minute block that Tampa had in the second period isn't that far off the way we normally play, so it's not completely unusual for us. And then good leadership. The bench was right tonight. Like in that, it would be really good for all of you to be able to hear sometimes, what Sam Reinhart would say on the bench in that push, right? What those guys are. It's just so good and meaningful and impactful and more important than what the coaches say, because he's probably just swearing a lot.
Just how important was Kevin Stenlund tonight? Because it seemed like every time Tampa got a push, he was in the middle of stopping it.
Paul, just back on the first one, and that so important for our penalty kill. Kevin's one of the guys that Bill brought in to not just have us hold water, to really improve our penalty kill. He was so very, very good, and that was a really good pickup by you, because he was one of those quiet players. Just from face-offs, the body position to battles out. I think sometimes what you would look at, that Bennett gets hurt and he kind of gets pushed into that role in game. It's not that he's not ready for it. It's just a major shift. But he comes to the rink tonight fully understanding that this is what I'm facing here tonight. And he was mentally prepared for it. So I'm excited about it. He was really good.
Staying on the topic of centers, Anton Lundell, the guy who goes up into the top 6 whenever an injury occurs. What has the games in the regular season helped him for a night like this where he's a +2 in 25 shifts?
Yeah. Well, he's still a young guy, right? Like this guy, he's almost like his third full. He's still a young player. That's why I think that's what's most exciting about Anton for our team. And I'm not talking about, I know he scored 18 his first year, and everybody gets excited that he might, he's going to be a great goal scorer. We score enough. But finding guys at a young age that you don't have to spend hours on video defensively, and worse defensively, just hard, like to play hard. It takes years for some players, and Anton kind of has a bit of that Barkov slant to his game. The first thought I think in his head is defensive. Not passively defensive, just defensive. But then he can also make plays. So he's pretty excited to come to the rink tonight. That Verhaeghe guy's not bad. Check, he can put some points up. So he knows, right? This could be exciting. It's also the playoffs. So he didn't cheat the game, and he still created. I was happy for him.
Coach, from what
Three.
Coach, from what you've seen on a defensive standpoint, what have you done to be able to really just shut down Point and Kucherov, their two top guns, and who have been the guys that have been sort of leading that charge to really take them out of their games?
I'm going to be very respectful of the question, but I would not submit to that I would agree with either. I understand what you've said, but you don't take those two players ever out of their games. They don't. I mean, at the end of the day, Bobrovsky will just Sergei. That's been the difference because they're so dynamic and they're so good. And Tampa has this kind of quick strike ability, and you saw it. They scored one at the top of the second, and it was on. And we were chasing the game. Like, we're a pretty good team. We may not be the most talented team in the NHL, but we don't suck. And they've got us, right? So that's kind of their grace. Like, I don't feel we have a grip on that. I think you manage those players as best you possibly can, but you just never control them. And I would feel the same way about Barkov and probably Reinhardt. I mean, it's the same thing, right? Like, they're honest. Sam gets this on his stick, and it's in the back of the net, and it's that quick. So, yeah, those are the kind of guys that just keep coaches from sleeping. Like, the bags under my eyes are real. It's a fact.
I know you weren't here, but you were watching it. This team, the last time the Panthers were here in the playoffs, they got beaten back-to-back.
George, don't do it.
How big was this for this team to come in here for a playoff game? They seemed loose, relaxed, and play the game that they played, because it was an ugly 2 games here 2 years ago.
I don't know.
Didn't think about it, right?
I wasn't here.
Coach, Lightning take a 2-1 lead, and then Bob comes up with a big save there on Lilleberg on the rebound on the Asimont shot. It seems like in the series, and we saw it obviously with the Dumba save in the last game, what is it about his game where he seems to make that save? It's not always when, how many saves you make, but when you make that save.
Yeah. That's his year for us this year. And I think the first 2 games, maybe more than tonight, because he was a bit more under siege there in the second period. We've allowed him to be quiet over the parts of games, and then he would just be incredibly explosive. So not much going on, angles, veteranness, experience, and then boom, over on the save. And I think that the work that the PK has done and the work defensively has allowed it to possibly happen now at this time of year. So we haven't worn him out. But that's not, I agree with you. It's quiet. But I think both goalies have done that. Like, so we got a 3-goal lead, or 3-game lead. I don't feel that. Like, this thing is, I've always felt all these playoff games are so incredibly tight. The one goalie gets one more, but Bob makes that incredible save behind, and then there's 2 shifts right after that where Vasilevsky makes a bunch of really good saves. It's tight, and that's what we'll expect coming to the rink the next game. This is going to be as tight. I'll go back to what I said before the series started. We came up and put 9 on them in here one night, and they never stopped working. Like we got lucky. The first shot was going 6 feet wide of the net, went off somebody's ass and in the net. And it was one of those aberration nights where everything you throw goes in. But they never stopped working. And they came to our building the next game, and they got 5-1 on us. Like that. We put up 50 that night. We won't quit. That's our expectation for the next game.